Let's talk some Jazz hoops on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Quack Car Wash. I was just there yesterday in the district. Man, yes. Car's looking fresh.
You're welcome.
Got a Muddy Duck car wash yesterday. Do you know what a Muddy Duck is? Oh, it's awesome. So I'm a pass holder at Quack. I actually pay out of my own pocket because I love the car wash that much. I get their best wash. It's $20 a month for me. And I just say to them, hey, can I get a Muddy Duck? And what that means is you get a ton of extra water. Car looks great coming out. And then once you go through the wash, I think we were in and out of the wash. I timed it in less than 5 minutes, which was awesome. 3 cars ahead of us when we rolled up. In and out in 5 minutes. Homie sprays the front of the car while he's wearing a button-down shirt, a tie, and a jacket. Yeah. So they dress nice. They're super friendly. Sprays the front of the car, sprays the back of the car. You go through the wash. I love the fact that kids love it because you get all the different colors. I love that the dryers there are super powerful. Oh, man. Good experience. Then you pull around. It was so busy that the vacuums were almost all full, but immediately had a big... You know what I like about the vacuums at Quack? The stalls to use the vacuums are big. Yes. And there's a vacuum on each side with 2 hoses. So you get the detail one that does your cup holders, between your seats, all that stuff. And then you get the big one for the rugs. Backed into the spot, vacuumed out my trunk, vacuumed out my mats, got free towels. The bin, they were so busy, the bin was out of towels. I said, hey, man, can I get a couple of towels? The guy walked in and hand-delivered them to me. Yep. Then just dump a bunch more. And you know what I thought was amazing? Those towels were actually damp. Do you know why that matters? Because that's how you dry your car. So what I do is you go and get the towels. I clean my mirrors. I clean all my windows. And then you know how when you come out of a car wash, there's water drops on your car. You can wash those off, and it doesn't leave your car all streaked because they give you damp towels already. And they're microfiber towels, which is low-key, really good. Which is huge. Like, there's nothing not to like about Quack, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, go check them out. Quack Car Wash. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. James Knight says, did you guys catch the Bucks versus Clips game? Fun game to watch. Clips look dangerous. They do. Yeah. Giannis scores 50 and damn near killed him with that turnover late in the game. Like, I don't know what he was looking at. If you didn't see it, they're up by a point, I think, at that point. Giannis has a massive game. For some reason, he wants to dribble it up. He goes to throw it to Pat Connaughton, and I mean, it must have been 3 feet behind him. Threw it right into the front row. I just was – you don't see Giannis make those mistakes a lot. Yeah. But obviously the game of the night in the NBA last night was the Donovan Mitchell situation. Yeah. And if you guys didn't see it, I don't know how long we're going to have to deal with Dillon Brooks on this stuff. Like, Dillon Brooks, and I don't know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Is Memphis one of the most unlikable teams in the NBA? Which is hard to say because John Morant's a hell of a basketball player. Yeah. But all of this stuff with Desmond Bane and calling LeBron a scrub and they're dirty plays. Brother, dude. That's what they are. This thing last night, if you didn't see it, watch this thing last night. Yeah. You look at this play, and I'm going to take this comment off the screen because I want you to see this fully. You look at this display by Dillon Brooks. Watch the arm here. Boom. Oh. I mean, he goes right at Donnie's bag. And watch, I'm going to play it again. Just concentrate on Dillon Brooks' head. He clearly sees Donovan Mitchell there. Right there, he looks at him. Boom, hits him in the bag. Yeah. Like, so he clearly sees him there. And then Donovan Mitchell absolutely ragdolls him to the floor. Yeah. I mean, Donnie pretty much beat his ass. Yeah. And then after the game, I think Donnie savaged him again.
That's just who he is. We've seen it a bunch in this league with him. Him and I have had our personal battles for years. Quite frankly, I've been busting his ass for years. Playoffs, regular season. In the one game he does a high job on me today. He decides to do something like that, and there's no place in that in the game. And you got to protect yourself at the end of the day. But this has been brewing for years. With me, with other guys in the league, and you all see it. It's not something that this isn't new. And tonight was just the end of it. But it's tough when you can't guard somebody and can't do something with somebody. You got to resort to that.
Ooh, yeah, love it. Love it. So while you're hitting the like button right here on the Monty Show to help the channel grow, we appreciate that. Thanks for being here. I thought Donovan Mitchell crushed it last night. Yeah. And again, I think Memphis is one of the most unlikable teams in the NBA. And I don't know. I don't know how you get away from the fact that this is who Dillon Brooks has become. And I agree with what Don said there. He's got this reputation of being an elite defender, and I think he's very good.
Yeah.
This downgrades him. And it's Dennis Rodman kicking the cameraman in the balls. Like, what is the point of this if you're Dillon Brooks? The point is you're frustrated. That's what this is. It's pure frustration.
Yeah, this is some Patrick Beverley level crap. And I think
it is.
I think what Dillon Brooks has turned himself into, unfortunately, is a bigger version of Pat Bev, where Dillon Brooks is this big, strong guy who loves being physical, loves playing the game, like he loves doing that stuff. But the reality of the situation is, and what no one's talking about, is Steven Adams, they miss him. They absolutely miss Steven Adams in the middle. And I think that Dillon Brooks tries to compensate for that. And I look, I don't have an issue with Dillon Brooks as a dude per se, but I don't like that we get stuff like this out of him. This is very Grayson Allen, Patrick Beverley, classic dirty player behavior. And to me, I love how Don handled it. He sent a message, and I love that he wasn't scared to get ejected doing it. Like, if you're gonna, bag slap me, then I'm gonna need to, step up, and I'm gonna need to get in your face about it. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was surprising to see Donovan Mitchell pretty much throw Buddy to the ground. He just did. And Dillon Brooks is, I don't know, they're about the same height or so. Maybe Dillon's a touch taller, but Dillon is like this big, thick, guy. He just looks stronger, and he's not, and it's kind of incredible. And to me, I look at Don and I say, hey, man, I love this. I wish I'd have seen a little bit more of this in the past, but the reality is we're seeing it now. And I think this has been, sort of a point of emphasis for Don, a point of growth for Don. As a leader of a team, you got to do this sometimes. And I think Donovan Mitchell clearly has no problem getting in someone's face. He's got no problem standing up for his teammates, standing up for himself, and doing what needs to be done. And I think as a leader, that is your responsibility. And by the way, we can't play the full highlight of the whole wrestling match because, YouTube won't let us. But when you look at the full highlight, you see all his teammates just go to war for Don, which I love to see. They got in the middle of that thing and didn't let up until Don was kind of walked off the floor and it kind of, started to chill out. But in the heat of that thing, they were in it. And I was really impressed by that because that tells me they do believe in Don and they back him. And I think that's a huge deal when you're trying to win a championship.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt Donovan Mitchell did what had to be done. And I agree with him. The NBA's got to take action on Dillon Brooks. I'm fed up with it. I'm over it. We're at a point now where you just can't keep ignoring it. It's happened so often.
Yeah.
The dirty play from Dillon Brooks has happened just too often. And I think it is, what choice did Donovan Mitchell have there? And I think Don probably gets suspended. I don't know if Dillon Brooks gets suspended or not. Honestly, I would love to see him get suspended 2 games.
Yeah.
I think that's appropriate. But I just don't think he will. That's just my opinion. I don't think he will. Or he will get suspended. James Knight says, Jake, any grown-ass man that get hit in the pills is going to react. Exactly right.
Yeah, but
you touch my bag, bro. I'm coming for that ass.
Donovan Mitchell could have easily been square-up guy like Jordan Clarkson was. He could have easily been, hold me back, bro guy, like we've seen so many guys be. And he's not that. He got up right away and went right up to Dillon Brooks.
And this is not an accident. Him hitting Don in the Bulls is not an accident. You could see again, and I'll play it for you.
Yeah.
I want you to watch this. I want you to watch his arm here, and I want you to understand that what Dillon Brooks did here is not an accident. Watch his head. Right there, he's looking up at Donovan. He knows right where Donovan is. By the way, if he didn't know where Donovan is, do you think he'd have hit the boys right on the target? Look where that fist goes. Boom. Right into them nuts. He was
And there's no excuse.
on target.
Like, and if play it one more time, there's no excuse. It's not as though his momentum was taking him. It's a clear effort to roll over that way instead of just getting up.
And by the way, look what happens when he tries to get up. 2 hands on the floor. Watch. Hits him in the nuts. You're not trying to get up with one arm up. He's trying to get up with 2 hands on the floor. When you're getting up, you're not flailing your arm over like that. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That was not accidental.
Yeah.
That was not accidental. I don't buy it. I just think they are an incredibly unlikable team in Memphis. I can't do it anymore. And I want to like them, and I just don't think you can. Teddy Wayman, who's a member of the program, says, man, I love Don.
Yeah, dude.
I miss Donovan Mitchell in Salt Lake City.
Program.
I miss watching him every night. I miss going to games and seeing him play. And it's a real shame he's not here. Brent Burnett, of course, in defense of Brooks. There is no defense of Brooks. Tyler P. says, I love how tough Memphis is, but Brooks takes stuff too far. But now it's Jaren Jackson stat cheating, maybe not. It's, again, Desmond Bane talking junk to LeBron James.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Who are you? You're nobody.
Hasn't won anything. Isn't
You're
like
nobody.
a premier player.
You are nobody, Desmond Bane. Who are you to be calling LeBron James old? Like, he's the best player in the NBA this year so far. Who are you?
Donkey.
Who are you, dude?
Yeah.
Dillon Brooks has been a hack his entire career.
Yeah.
And you got that. The frustrating part is I don't like watching them play. But I love watching Ja Morant play.
Yeah.
I love watching Ja Morant try to absolutely put Rudy Gobert in a body bag. I love that, dude. But I cannot stand. Like Dillon Brooks and Shannon Sharp. How Dillon Brooks of you. How Memphis Grizzlies of you.
Yes.
No matter who you blame in that situation, the entire team going over and getting into a brawl with Shannon Sharp? Really? That's who you are.
They are classic short guy syndrome, little brother syndrome. They are classic.
I think you're right.
I gotta, have this loud ass bark and no bite. Like, that's just who they are. And it's no slight on Ja. I think the only slight that you could put on Ja is that he's got to lead the team a little better. I mean, you just not. There's a difference between, hey, we need to be an edgy, gritty, physical team, and being, hey, we need to bag slap the other team.
There's a difference between intentionally, unintentionally breaking Devin Booker's nose and playing hard-nosed defense in your face.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you. I think it's a great example. Patrick Beverley breaking people's hands. Breaking Chris Paul's hands 2 years ago. I don't want that guy on my team. I don't want Dillon Brooks on my team. This is my biggest thing with Draymond Green. I don't want all the technical fouls on my team. I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
I'm not here for dirty basketball. I love hard picks. I like big physical rebounding. I'm all here for that. I'm not here for hitting a guy in the nuts. I'm not. And if I'm Memphis, I am. If I was on that team, I'd be saying, "Hey, I don't appreciate that, dude. I don't like that. That's not who we are. We're a hard-nosed, grinding basketball team. We don't hit guys in the balls intentionally."
Yeah.
And by the way, if you did it unintentionally, you're out of control, and we don't like that either.
Yeah.
Because he got ejected, as did Don, but you get ejected for that. And the sad thing is, Dillon Brooks is a really good defender who doesn't need to do that. And it's because Donovan Mitchell was beating him that he did that.
Yeah.
I
Don
agree.
said as much, 100%.
I agree 100%. Brett Robbins says Dillon Brooks is like 6 inches taller. Than who? I don't know what.
Dillon Brooks is not 6 inches taller than Donovan Mitchell, dude.
Oh, I think it's close to that. He's a bigger player than Donovan Mitchell. What is Donovan Mitchell, 5'10"?
He's 5 inches, 4 inches taller.
Donovan Mitchell he's not 6'1". You go to the Cavs page and he's listed as 6'1". Donovan Mitchell's not 6'1". I hate to break it to you. I believe he's 5'10".
Well, whatever the hell
How tall
he
is Dillon Brooks?
Dillon Brooks is listed at 6'6".
Yeah. So he is substantially bigger than Don, but Don is more muscular than Dillon Brooks is. Yeah. He ragdolled his ass to the floor.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't even think it's a Next comment.
He ragdolled his ass to the floor. Yeah. It is, yeah. RRRRRR says, well, NAW made 27 points against the Nuggets last month. watches hook passes, there is something to work with. Barely an NBA player. I think NAW is just remarkably inconsistent. I think he's fabulously talented.
Yeah.
He's just inconsistent. Brett Robbins says, Grayson Allen putting that knowledge out in practice. Truth. He ain't wrong. Mapes, what's up? Good morning. I would have no problem with any player defending himself after a low blow. No problem at all. No problem at all. Lopes fan Gabe, good morning, my friend. Thanks for being here. Donovan with the best Trent Williams impersonation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That must have felt good.
Oh, yeah.
To ragdoll Dillon Brooks like that, dude. Pancake block.
That's what guys like Dillon Brooks don't understand. The best players in the world want you to take it there.
Yeah.
They want you to open the door to physical, I'm not going to say violence, but, like, a brawl, I guess. I don't know, like a mini fight. Like they want you to do that because then they can go in, no rules attached, and do their thing.
Yes. I absolutely agree. 100%.
Yeah.
I just don't know how, again, not to be a jerk about it, how the Memphis Grizzlies become an unlikable basketball team.
Well, yeah, they went from sweetheart story to, hey, we're the guys we're the tough kid on the block trying to win a championship.
Yeah, I think it is really crazy to me. I think it's really crazy to me how I'm trying to be delicate. When you're a dirty player, and I don't like calling guys dirty players. I actually don't think Patrick Beverley's a dirty player. I think Dillon Brooks is a dirty player.
Grayson Allen's a dirty player.
Grayson Allen's a dirty player. You don't do
what you did to Alex Caruso, all jokes aside on the show. You don't do what you did to Alex Caruso and then call yourself a clean player.
Furthermore, you don't get moved out of Memphis because they don't like your style of play and then go to Milwaukee and do the exact same thing that got you sent out of Memphis.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. I don't know. I'm probably making too much of it. I get it.
Next comment.
Eric in Raleigh. Good morning, my friend. He says, weird that Dillon Brooks is so like Chris Paul.
Next comment.
What does that mean?
Next comment. I don't know what that means.
Mapes says the trainer tackling Brooks before he really got beat down was my favorite part.
Oh, yeah, dude. He went full spear mode on him, dude.
Buddy came in Bill Goldberg style and just dropped Dillon Brooks.
On your ass.
That was a great job by that guy.
Let me get this right. You got thrown down by mini-me Donovan Mitchell. Then you get up, and Donovan Mitchell's trainer came in and dropped you.
No. That's not what happened. What happened is the Memphis Grizzlies trainer came beelining into Dillon Brooks because, and I don't know how many people know this or care about it, they work on that. They actually have a plan in place for brawls like that. And your job is, and it's usually trainers, they also have security personnel. Your job is to make sure Dillon Brooks doesn't punch anybody in the face. That is your entire job.
I'm for real.
To make sure he does not get a 50-game suspension.
I'm a fucking unit.
And Dillon Brooks, and what does that tell you? They know Dillon Brooks is a hothead. They know he is a problem. Because you had a guy whose singular job was to drive his shoulder into Dillon Brooks' rib cage, and that's exactly what he did.
So you better check
and
yourself.
I thought he saved Dillon Brooks there because I do think Dillon was going to get that ass swooped.
Yeah.
Swooped. McKinley Cutler, good morning, my friend. Brooks got punked last night by Donovan. He did.
Yep.
He absolutely did. Brett Robbins says, LeBron James, best player this year. Do you even watch basketball? We don't. We're casuals.
Yeah, we don't watch Jazz games. We don't get anything right on the show. And,
Never.
Never. We're YouTube hacks.
Yeah, trust me, bro.
Yeah, we have trust me, bro sources, and we only have 10,000 subs now, so there's no way that we could have 200,000 views a month or any of the stats that we have. I mean, that's just not possible.
Hell no, bro.
So
No,
and we hate Jordan Clarkson, and we hate Ryan Smith, and
yeah.
we that's just kind of the brand on the show.
Yep.
So
let me get this right. In January, LeBron James averaged 33 points and shot 50% from the floor and shot only 78% from the line and only 31% from three and still averaged 34 points a game, 33.8. And he's like 86 years old. I don't know what, like, is it just that you hate the Lakers? He's 38 flipping years old, averaging on the season 30 points a game.
Hey, Claw.
And you're going to tell me 30 points, 8.5 rebounds, 7 dimes, and he's shooting 51% from the floor on the season. Yeah, nah, he sucks. Holy cow. He's not. Like, tell me who's a better player in the NBA this year than LeBron James, who has no help, by the way.
Yeah.
No help whatsoever.
Glad that Anthony Davis finally decided to show up last night. Thanks.
He has no help whatsoever. Thanks. None. Oh, he's...
Last time I checked...
Come on, bro.
Last time I checked...
Bro.
Bron doesn't have Middleton and Drew Holiday to
work
with.
Hey, bro.
Hey, last time I checked... Bron doesn't have Kyrie Irving on his team.
And the funny thing is, you know what the funny thing is about this? And this is the part that I love, is that you look at LeBron, and I think the best part of this whole argument is Luka Doncic has become incredibly reliant on the three ball.
Yep.
Incredibly reliant. And what happened to your boy, because he's your favorite player, Luka.
Right.
What happened to Luka last night? Luka found out what happens when you F around and you find out. He tried to dunk on some dudes last night, and he got facialized.
What's up, big bro?
Has a bruised heel, or excuse me, a heel contusion.
Oh.
Did you guys see the Luka?
Touch me there. That, sir, is my no square.
Okay,
Yeah,
Luka.
okay. You should have played that during the Donovan conversation. Luka Doncic last night tries to go up and dunk on some dudes, and that did not work out well against New Orleans. They met him at the apex of that jump, and he awkwardly landed on his leg.
Yeah. Too bad for him.
And
so sad.
He's become, and listen, Luka, I think, is having a really big year. I think he's having a really big year. But you look at his numbers, and you just start to understand that, yeah, cool. Luka's been, it's either him or LeBron, the best players in the league. Luka in January, 31 points.
So less than LeBron.
Shooting 31% from three and really struggling, and he's become reliant on that. He's shooting 7 threes a game.
Yeah.
He's shooting 7. Dude, I said Luka's shooting 7 threes a game.
Yeah, dude.
And struggling at that. He has become a guy that's reliant on threes, and he has to shoot them in volume to even shoot 30% from three. LeBron James has been the best player in the league this year. And, yeah, I don't know. Man. Tanner Plummer, good morning, says, but James is Draymond as dirty as Brooks. Listen, and I know we're probably going to go round and round on this because James Knight said, wow, Monty, I thought Draymond was your boy. No, James.
Dude, you're such a casual on Draymond, bro.
This is the thing about Draymond. I'm not a Draymond Green fan.
Yeah.
But how do you not respect the guy? He's the reason that they've won championships. He is the straw that stirred the drink in the prime of the frickin' Dub Nation Warriors. Like, he's like so incredibly important.
Oh, Dillon Brooks is the
and that's the thing about Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks is not vital to what they do. Without Draymond Green, they don't win championships at Golden State.
Yeah.
Do you understand? The guy is still one of the elite defenders. He was the best defender in the NBA in their prime. Like,
yeah,
he was.
Hey, Draymond, guard the other team's best player. Take him out.
Point guard or center, go guard the guy's best player.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, his offense is what really made them tick, because there was nobody that was, you got to go back to like Magic Johnson. For a guy that can pull the ball off the rim and be at half court before you even realize he rebounded the ball. How many one-kick passes did he make that led to Steph Curry threes?
Yeah.
Like, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't like Draymond Green. I don't like the punch Jordan Poole in the face guy. But, boy, I sure do respect his game. I don't respect Dillon Brooks' game. What?
I just still can't believe Draymond did that, dude. Yeah. Like, he walked up to dude and dropped him. Like, how?
Christopher Leo, good morning, Chris. Dillon Brooks is one of the most, if not the most petty guys in the league. He is.
Yes.
He totally is. I agree with that 100%. I agree also that you should consider joining our membership here on the show for $10 a month. You get exclusive access to trade conversations, inside information. You also get exclusive videos. You get access to our merch that's never coming. You get access when it does happen. The Chinese spy balloon's probably going to get shot down before our merch happens.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to talk about that. But anyway, the point is you get all kinds of stuff, but what you're getting is a community. The community of guys, that Instagram chat is remarkable. Generally, you're going to get our trade information long before anybody else does, depending on, when you're on and when you're not. But the Instagram group for members only has been remarkable. And it is just something that on a daily, nightly basis, it's really enjoyable. I love being part of that group. We all are in there. We're all chatting. Tenny's putting pictures of his rubber ducky, which is not a euphemism for anything.
Ducky, you're the one.
We're all exchanging pictures on things like food, cars, dogs, Teddy being naked in a hot tub or a cold tub with his rubber ducky on display.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then Tanner, of course, is going to video call the entire group 11 times a day. All these fun things, And
Tanner,
that's
have you figured
$9.99
out how
a month.
to not call the whole group yet? By the way, Tanner went and had Mo Bettas.
Yes, he did.
More betters.
More betters.
Yeah.
And he put a picture of his more betters in there.
I know. Listen, I know that more betters is no chuckarama, but, it'll do. The Terry at, more betters is pretty good.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, but please make sure if you're not a member of the show, please consider joining. It's $10 a month. You can cancel at any time, but my guess is you're going to see it's just a phenomenal group of dudes. So make sure you click the link in the comments section or go ahead and just click the join button on your mobile phone. Jazz Kitball is back with us this morning.
Dude?
The Vando trade hung up. Portland wanted Vando, Malik, Talon, and a pick. See, and this is the issue with trades. And I've asked about Nasir Little forever, back to the beat writer Roco conversations, and Portland and the Jazz have an ongoing conversation. They have a really good relationship between the two organizations.
Yeah.
I don't believe that this trade was ever really close. I just don't. Vanderbilt, in my mind, is not a great fit. The issue in Portland is going back to Jeremy Grant and this whole situation where you have a guy who probably is not going to be there. But Dame is not getting younger. He's getting older, and he's playing at a really high level. Portland's on that tipping point. They're another one of these teams where you don't know if they're a buyer or a seller. And most people believe that they're a buyer, but can you get Grant to stay there?
Yeah.
That's the single biggest question. If he stays there, I think they play at a high level.
Yeah.
I think if they go and get what they need is they need somebody that's not going to obstruct the flow of that offense, because they have good size. They have good three-point shooting. I just don't think that trade was as close as everybody's making it out to be. I truly do not. I think one of the bigger issues in Portland is they don't want to trade Josh Hart. And I think when you look at him as a guy, I think it's very difficult, especially with where Portland is in the standings currently.
Yeah.
They're a fringe playoff team, a game under 500. They're tied with New Orleans in 10th. They're a game up on the Lakers. And I think when you look at Portland, and you just don't have on a nightly basis, you don't have a cohesive offense. And Dame really is the straw there. And you start looking at a guy like Simons, and you're asking yourself, okay, what does this team really need? You need a guy to come in off the bench and contribute. You do not get like Eubanks. I like Eubanks. Eubanks is a guy I know the Jazz like, and that's a guy, but I don't think Portland would trade him.
Yeah.
Why would Portland move him? This is the problem with again, Miami. Miami doesn't have the goods. This is the prop. This is why Cleveland is trying to find a first-round pick to move to the Jazz for Beasley and for Clarkson and for.
Yes.
They have needs, but Cleveland doesn't own their own first-round picks, right? Because they can't trade 24. They traded the Jazz 25. They're trying to find a 2025 first-round pick because I don't believe that there's going to be very many 23 first-round picks traded right now.
Yeah.
I think Phoenix is obviously the one that you look at, but you're going to be hard-pressed to find a first-round pick, and Danny Ainge probably isn't doing a deal of significance without a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So all of that to say, Portland's in this awkward situation where you're playing a guy like Josh Hart 32 minutes and he's not scoring, but you don't want to trade that guy.
Somehow.
So what are you willing to do here? The answer is I don't know. Because I think Josh Hart's a hell of a player, but I don't know that he's a great fit in their offense. And Nasir Little, why is he a player of consequence? Because he's slightly, in my opinion, Nasir Little is slightly better than Jared Vanderbilt. Because it's not like you're getting exponentially better production out of Nasir Little than Jared Vanderbilt. I mean, they're in my opinion, the only thing that Nasir Little does better than Jared Vanderbilt is he shoots the three well. But he's not a volume 3-point shooter. He's a onesie-twosie guy. He very rarely is going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 threes a game.
Yeah.
That's not who that guy is.
Yeah.
So he shoots the three better.
Well, and that's who teams want, though. The 5, 6, 7 guy.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true. But in my opinion, again, I would love to see him be a better rebounder. Everybody with Nasir Little always talks about, that wingspan is as long as your mom's thong. Like, okay, great. Then why is he averaging 2 rebounds a night? He's got this unbelievable athleticism. He's got this unbelievable, and remember, this is a guy that plays the three, right? But he's not a volume 3-point shooter. He's not a great rebounder, and he's not a great scorer at the 3 position. In Utah, where are you going to play him? Because you're not going to play him at the 3. Is he just going to be a depth 3 for you then? Okay, I can understand that. You need to address that. But he's also he's 6'5", 200 pounds. He doesn't have tremendous size at the 3 or the 4.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a 4. I think it's just one of those things where I don't think he's a great fit. In my opinion, again, it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a great fit. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if Portland and the Jazz make a deal. I mean, they made the Joe Ingles deal. They have a good line of communication. What are you going to do? In your scenario, the Jazz want Nasir and Nurk. I have not heard one time that they want Nurkic. Not one time. He does not help you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, who are your sources,
at all.
bro?
Well, but I'm being serious. Everybody throws out these trade scenarios, and they're like, they want Josef Nurkic, and to do what? To do what? Because you're not doing anything that is going to impede you with Walker Kessler. You're going to pay Nurk to not start?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Be reasonable
and I think
with that
Kessler
stuff.
has way more top end than Nurk has. We know what Nurk is.
But you're not it's not a question. Nurkic is not coming here to be a backup.
Yeah.
And I'd have to look at their cap. I don't know Portland's salary cap all that well. But you and I both know that a guy like Nurk is not gonna be happy being a backup, especially to a rookie. And he's making $15.6 million on a huge get the fuck out.
Nah.
That's what's crazy to me. They don't want. Did you look at this before you put that in the chat? This is the problem in the NBA these days. Everybody's got an idea of what a trade should look like. With all due respect, Jasketball, I don't know you at all. With all due respect, do you really think they're going to pay Nurk almost $16 million to be a backup?
No.
When he's got a long-term deal? Nurkic, if I remember right, signed an extension 2 years ago? 4 year, $70 million extension, fully guaranteed. And he signed through 25, 26. No chance, bro.
Nah.
No chance.
It just doesn't fit with what they're doing.
No, who thinks that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Are you serious right now? Come on. This hour of the show is presented by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza because, of course, we Missed football at 50, 10 of the hour every hour. Make sure you get to Papa Murphy's. It's Friday night, which in the Monty Crib.
Yeah.
That's my house. Casa de Monte means that we are absolutely on the Papa Murphy's grind tonight. Going to get that large traditional crust barbecue sauce. And I'm telling you, the herb mix, get it. Do it. Put the herb mix on your pizza. I'm a guy that goes mozzarella, onion mix, extra mushrooms, marinara meatballs. I'm telling you.
I want it.
But oh, by the way, St. Valentine's Day is coming. Maybe you ought to get that Heart Baker.
This Valentine's Day, get a Heart Baker pizza from Papa Murphy's. You complete us. And we mean that literally. With Take and Bake, we prepare it, you make it yours. So make us yours today. Papa Murphy's. Change the way you pizza.
Papa Murphy's Pizza. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. The Monty Show is presented by the Advocates. UtahAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Chris Ainge tweeting this morning. And I actually think Chris Ainge is one of the best NBA insiders. With the Lakers looking for another trade before the deadline, conversations were had with Utah centered on Russell Westbrook. Holy Jesus! Your man is a god! You can't make this up!
God, dude.
What did we say yesterday?
Dude, we literally talked about this yesterday.
Dilly.
What did I tell you yesterday? That the Jazz and the Lakers have had conversations about Russell Westbrook.
What's up, big bro?
And I don't think it's that far out of the realm because it's a $47 million expiring contract. And now, again, not to tell you I told you so, MFers, but Big Dog told you. Anyway.
And his name is John C.
I'm telling you, the best part about being me is that everybody's like, oh, yeah, who are your sources? Yeah,
Trust
your
me,
sources
bro.
are trust me,
Trust me, bro.
And then no matter what, I'll be like, hey, the Lakers and the Jazz, they're having conversations about Russell Westbrook, and they've had them. And my biggest concern is I don't know that the Lakers and the Jazz, or that the Jazz will make a trade with the Lakers to benefit the Lakers.
And the Lakers don't want to move on from those picks. And, there's some hesitation.
But the Jazz and the Lakers have had conversations about Russell Westbrook. The Jazz had loved the expiring contract.
Hey, guys.
And then, like, a lot of times it's shams a week later.
Usually it's about 4 to 5 days later.
Somebody will be like, oh, hey, the Lakers and the Jazz have had conversations, and we're just not sure that the Jazz want to make a trade with the Lakers. It's almost inevitable. Not only am I good looking, and I am.
Right.
I am extra good looking. Your wives love me.
Right.
Daddy?
Okay.
Dude, that reinvigorated me today.
Yeah.
Portland star Damian Lillard intends to participate in the three-point contest at All-Star Weekend.
Oh, good for him.
I think this is really this Russell Westbrook, and I'll tell you what I heard. The biggest issue is Jordan Clarkson is who the Lakers absolutely want. And the Lakers know full well that the Jazz are hard capped. And for those of you who don't know, the Jazz cannot, for any reason, at any time this season, exceed the luxury tax threshold. They are hard capped. So they cannot take money in return. So the money that goes out has to match dollar for dollar. And I can tell you right now, the two names, and really, I think the two names I would watch in a Laker trade are Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson. And I think that those two guys, what are they? What are they to the Lakers? They're two expiring contracts because Mike is only partially guaranteed. Jordan Clarkson's going to opt out. He's only making, $14 million. He's going to opt out. And so if you look at those two deals, dude, you're really close to making a Westbrook trade. And then, hey, we're just going to put a number we're going to put a guy back into that deal to make that trade work. Is that Talon Horton Tucker going back? Well, guess what Talon Horton Tucker's on? It's on a player option.
Yeah.
$10 million. Deal done. The Lakers, to make that deal, will have to give up their 2 first-round picks to the Lakers or to the Jazz to get that done.
100%.
They will have to give that up.
You can't give up Conley and Clarkson without those picks.
But if you get Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson, and I would even go as far as to say if you get Mike Conley and Malik Beasley, if the Jazz really are in on this thing, because, again, we were told by sources at the Jazz yesterday that Ryan Smith does not want to trade Jordan Clarkson. He does not.
Never.
But if you're the Utah Jazz and you can get Russell Westbrook, and what that means is he's never going to play for you, but his contract is going to come off your books after this season.
Yeah.
It's $47 million.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to get 2 future first-round picks. Why would you not do that?
Yeah.
Because what does that do? That gives you financial flexibility.
Yep.
That gives you all of that cap space, and it allows you, what it really allows you to do is it allows you to, hey, if you want to re-sign Jordan in the summer, you can outbid anybody for that. That's what it allows you to do. But it also allows you to go and get the superstar of your choice because you have cap space now.
Yeah.
It makes a ton of sense, and I know that Jazz fans always get pissed off about this. But I'm telling you, it makes a ton of sense for the Lakers and the Jazz to make trades. But I again, I go back to this Bojan Bogdanovic deal with Saban Lee and Kelly Olynyk.
And a rack of basketballs.
Yeah, essentially, Detroit sent Saban Lee's full contract and the cash for the contract. The Jazz cut him, right? And you basically traded Bojan Bogdanovic for Kelly Olynyk.
Bojan.
Who now, Bojan Bogdanovic, one of the most in-demand players on the NBA market, and the Pistons aren't going to trade him. But would easily get a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So you essentially chose Kelly Olynyk over a first-round pick so that you could screw the Lakers.
And then you're going to do a deal with them anyway. Excellent.
I think it's very interesting, man.
Danny.
I think it's a very interesting question. And I also think that when you look at Russ, I think Russ is rebuilding his image right now as a sixth man. So he's got value. I think for the Jazz, he'll never wear the uniform.
No, that's a buyout cap space deal.
No, that's a send his ass home deal.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't even think. One of the things that I've heard about the Jazz is they are spiteful at times, which is interesting because that's what the Bojan deal was. And if you trade for Russ and you just send him home, which is to say he won't be playing for you, so you just send him home, that's not buying him out. Because if you buy Russ out, he immediately becomes a free agent, can go anywhere he wants.
Yeah, that's true. It's 2 different things.
It is 2 different things.
Yeah,
and
true.
I think they would just send him home. I think they would send him home.
Why, though? Why would you,
Because I think they don't.
He can't suit up for the team. That's not even
Never.
a question. But what I don't understand is Russell Westbrook has nothing to do with this as a dude. Am I just missing something here? Why would you be spiteful to Russ?
Because I think Russell Westbrook is one of the most unlikable players in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's a Laker, and it's a deal with the Lakers. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you say about the job that Danny Ainge has done?
Yeah. I mean, I think Danny's done a good job. I think Danny is this whole thing about Danny being spiteful or the Jazz being spiteful, I feel like it's one of those situations where, at times it's going to cost them. I mean, I look at this, this Chris Haynes report about Westbrook, and I think about, this conversation we're having, the Bojan thing and how that plays into Westbrook and the Jazz being spiteful. I wouldn't really like the idea of Danny just sending him home and slowly bleeding him out of this contract. That doesn't really add up for me. I don't like how that sort of reflects on the way they go about doing business, but I don't know that they would do that. My opinion would be that you would just buy him out and cut him loose. I don't know why. There's just no point to it. So, what do I think of the job he's done? I mean, I think that Danny is has done a pretty solid job so far. But as I've said the last couple of weeks, I think there's a lot on the line here. And I think not only for the Jazz, but for the league. I think Danny Ainge has obviously and continually been right in the middle of the trade market. Again, with the Gobert and Donnie deals, he basically just said, like, bam, like, I'm right here in the middle of this thing. You have to deal with me if you want something done. And I go back to, you guys all remember, several months ago now, the Kevin Durant saga, and, that Kevin Durant wanted to leave, and then they had to put that whole thing back together. But remember what we had talked about at that time, should Danny go after Kevin Durant? And I said, yeah, I mean, you make the call, but I don't think KD would ever play here. But what did that situation provide Danny the opportunity to do? Well, once again, be right in the middle of things, because Danny's got guys, and they needed to make the money work, and there was opportunity there. And now what do we hear off of those conversations? Well, Jovic in Miami, and we've got maybe some Cleveland Jordan Clarkson traction. So I think Danny's done a great job. I think overall he's done a great job. But when I hear things like, hey, Danny in the Jazz, sometimes could be spiteful, I struggle with that concept. There's no need to be spiteful. I understand the Boyan deal on some level. Okay, maybe you wanted to get after the Lakers a little bit. Okay, but I just don't understand this whole concept of, yeah, let's let Russ just sit on the couch. Let's bleed him out of this contract slowly but surely. And I guess that'll make us feel better. I don't like how that makes the Jazz look. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. And to me, if you get what you need out of the deal, fine. I'm not going to criticize the deal if you were to get 2 first-round picks out of that, and then put Colin Sexton in a position to develop. Great, that's all fine and dandy. But I will never come off of, there's no reason to do that to Russell Westbrook.
I would agree with that, but that stuff happens all the time. Why is Jay Crowder not with the Suns?
Because Jay Crowder's been an absolute malcontent with the Suns. That's why Jay Crowder's not with the Suns.
I don't disagree with that, but if you're going to do that to Jay Crowder, you're going to do that to Russ. I mean, it happens all the time. And I know from talking to people around the NBA, Russell Westbrook's one of the most unpopular players in the league. He is not somebody. Russ is a different personality. He just has personality traits that rub people the wrong way. He is not a popular guy in your locker room. He is not a great team player. And he is somebody that has historically been difficult for teams to deal with.
But for the Jazz, though, right? Mm-hmm. None of that matters to the Jazz, in my opinion, because he's never going to suit up for you.
I would agree with that. I could see them buying him out.
Yeah.
But it would not surprise me if they just sent him home.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
But this conversation, for me anyway, it wouldn't be surprising if they just sent him home. But what all I'm saying here is the Jazz don't have a dog in the fight with Russell Westbrook. You don't have a clear, clean-cut reason why you would send him home and force him not to play.
I also think that you have to have a willingness to write him a check for the rest of what he's owed.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, he's probably in the high teens owed on salary. If he was $47 million, so you figure half the season is what, $23.5 million.
Yeah.
And you're over halfway home. My guess is he's probably owed somewhere around $20 million. Are you, Ryan Smith, want to cut a guy a $20 million check? Okay, you negotiate it down. You want to cut a guy a $15 million check? Because Russ ain't taking, my guess is, not from Utah, he's not taking a discount. So I just think it's a willingness to cut him a check, because that's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. But that Chris Haynes tweet, and I can clip it for you. That Chris Haynes tweet, I think is very telling, because now he's the third guy, that has, and if I could use my computer properly, he's the third guy that between the two people I've talked to, now Chris Haynes becomes the third guy that I've heard that from. Mm-hmm. And it's not at all surprising. Obviously, we told you about it on the show yesterday. It's not at all surprising.
Well, and this isn't the first time we brought it up. I mean, we've talked about this before with the Jazz.
No,
not even before yesterday.
And this is the odd thing about the Boyan deal. I know the Lakers and the Jazz talk, I wouldn't say routinely, but on a regular basis. It's not like Rob and Danny have a set calendar appointment. Tuesday at 2 o'clock, time to call Danny. Let's see if I can get Ainge. Like, that's not what it is. But it certainly is a thing where they have an open line of communication. And I think when you look at this, when you look at it, it makes a lot of sense for the Jazz, man. Like, it makes a lot of sense. You have got, and there's a tweet right there. You have a guy in Russ that is, he's a good salary slot, and he's an awkward guy there, man. Like, they're just not talented enough around LeBron. Mike and JC are big upgrades for them. And that's why I'm a little hesitant to say that Ryan Smith would be willing to help the Lakers by cutting Russell Westbrook a $20 million check. I have a lot of problem with that.
But how is he helping the Lakers?
Because, if you send them Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson or Malik Beasley.
Yeah, but it's not about, dude, it's not. We're getting lost here. We're getting lost. This isn't about helping the Lakers. This is about getting draft picks so you can go and chase a star in the trade market. That's what this is about. Like, this isn't like the Lakers, whether Jazz fan wants to admit it or not, the Lakers are always going to be relevant in the Western Conference. Let's just get that on the table. Let's get that out in the open.
Okay, I think everybody agrees with that. But then explain to me why you didn't trade Bojan Bogdanovic to the Lakers.
Yeah, because they were spiteful. And I don't love that deal. Not that you do. I'm just saying, like, I don't love how they behaved with that.
No.
But the idea that I guess it just doesn't add up for me. The Westbrook thing makes sense for the Jazz. I'm not talking about the deal itself. The deal makes perfect sense. That adds up.
Yeah.
What doesn't add up is this whole thing about whether to buy him out or whether to send him home and whether you're helping the Lakers or it's not about, like, to me, Danny can't operate that way. You can't operate like, oh, we're helping this team.
Yeah.
You cannot. You're not in a position to say whether or not a team's going to contend before or after you. That's just not the position you're in. You're in a position where you need to go and get that talent and build your roster, then worry about everybody else.
RR says Rui Hachimura and Westbrook for JC and Conley, pick or two and fillers. Because why would the Lakers trade Rui already?
Yeah, he's been actually good for them.
He's made them unbelievably better defensively.
Yeah.
Brett Burnett says, not true, Monty. Many fans like Westbrook, just not here. No, actually, it is very true. He is one of the most difficult guys to deal with, and fans don't matter. Yeah. What has a fan got to do with whether they like him or not?
There's no question around the league, Westbrook has a reputation. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Lewis in the GZ says, I doubt the Lakers are going to trade Rui this soon. And I'd have to look. I don't even know if that's possible or not. I don't know.
I'm telling you, they're not. He's been good for them, man.
Yeah, they're not trading
them a lot.
They're not trading him. Yeah. And the whole Kobe, why did you wear 28 because of Gianna and Kobe? Like, come on. Ken Williams says, why do you even make a trade for Westbrook and make the Lakers better? No way I'm making that trade because it makes you better.
Yeah, it
makes you better.
Ken, you're missing the point here, man. You're missing the point. It's not about Westbrook. It's about the fact that he's on an expiring contract that has somewhere in the neighborhood of 20-ish million left on it. And you're gonna realize that cap space through Westbrook's contract expiring. It's not that they want to add Westbrook to the roster and suit him up and have him out there. They don't want that. Like we just said 3 times, he's never going to suit up for the Jazz. No. That's not going to happen.
No. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Brent Burnett says Lakers aren't giving up their pick. That ship has, well, okay, again, with all due respect, man, you make so many statements that are like, they're not doing this. You're wrong. Okay. So Jeannie the other day saying she's going to make any deal that makes the team better. So that ship has sailed. It's over. That's completely. They're talking about Buddy Hield and, a package of players from Indiana for a first-round pick, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
You can't in this world. If you're going to talk in superlatives, you're going to look like an idiot. That ship is sailed. No, that ship is not sailed, actually. Alex Chacon says, I have a really hard time believing they would be spiteful towards Russ. Seems way too unprofessional. That happens all the time. Like the Jay Crowder thing, Jay Crowder and the Suns had a falling out. Yeah. And they told him, we're not going to play you regular rotational minutes. You are going to play very few minutes here. And he said, okay, well then I'm not going to be here. Trade me. Because really the issue is Cam Johnson or Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
The issue is Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder. Like, he was the odd man out on that team. And so he chose to go home. But they straight up said to him, we're not going to play you. John Wall, we're not going to play you. Like that happens in this league all the time.
Yeah.
It would not be rare for the Jazz to say to Russ, yeah, hey, go home. We're not going to play you. We're not paying you, but go home.
Yeah.
That would not be. Look at Serge Ibaka in Milwaukee. Exactly what's happening. Hey, go home. We're going to trade you. That's not rare in this league at all. Rance says the Lakers, far from being relevant, barely winning, and AD usually gets hurt. Well, if you watched them play last night, you ought to be worried.
They're never far from being relevant. They're relevant now.
Yeah, I don't think they're irrelevant. I don't think the Lakers are ever irrelevant.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, again, with all due respect to Jazz Nation, like, and as you've been saying today, it pisses you off that the Lakers are always relevant, and you're always having to fight to be relevant. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. That you gotta stop talking in superlatives about ships have sailed and how the Lakers are barely relevant. Dude, it's LeBron James. He's going to break the scoring record, and they're going to make trades to get better. Yeah. And they're going to be relevant.
Yep, absolutely.
They are.
I think
and I'm not even a Laker fan, and I'm telling you that.
Yeah. James Knight said, I think I saw the desk move when Monty got vindication. Yeah, it actually lifted up a little bit,
Yep.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
It's just fun for me.
Yeah.
Because we've known for the whole, like, if you knew who we spoke to, you would be like, oh, well, why didn't you just say that?
Yeah.
If you knew who we have relationships with, it would blow your mind. So that's why we don't throw out, hey, this is happening because we know better than that. We know that, hey, the Jazz and Miami have talked about Kelly Olynyk and Malik Beasley. But the problem is the Heat were unwilling to include Nikola Jovic for a long time. Now they're willing to do that. The problem is the Jazz want nothing to do with Duncan Robinson. And without Duncan Robinson's $15 million contract, Jazz can't make that deal happen.
Because they're hard capped.
They're hard capped. And you got to do it dollar for dollar. So, again, I'm not hating on whoever that was, Jazzketball, saying, oh, Nurkic. How?
And why?
Go ahead and help me understand a guy who's coming off a significant injury, who's hurt again. By the way, pretty sure that Nurkic has another lower leg injury. I think it's a calf. Why would you pick up that guy? And where are you going to play him? You have one of the best emerging players in the NBA in Walker Kessler.
Yep.
Who is, I think, already one of the best defensive players in the league.
Yep.
You already have that guy. So what exactly are you going to get in Nurkic? Nasir Little, okay, I could see that. Like, there's not a lot that makes sense in 1v1 trades. Like the Cavs deal. Cavs don't have a first-round pick to give of their own. The Cavs are trying to get a wing player that can shoot and defend. That's more likely Beasley, but they've straight up offered a first-round pick for Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make that a 3-team deal. You're going to have to. This Lakers Westbrook thing. They have the question is, does Danny Ainge want, I think, what are the Lakers, 2025 and 2027?
Yeah.
How valuable is that pick to you, really? You're probably at that point going through another rebuild. The
Jazz?
By that point, a 2027 first-round pick. If you're drafting that pick, by the way, how good are the Lakers going to be? Because I can't believe they're going to be terrible that long.
Yeah.
In 2027, it's 2022-23 right now. Yeah. In the 2027 NBA draft, will the Jazz have won a championship by then? If they didn't, my guess is they'll be really close. So is that pick really of that much use to you? It's probably not.
Yeah.
And the Lakers' picks, first-round picks, are not usually good because they're usually at the top of the Western Conference. Just my opinion. All of our NBA talk here on the Monty Show is presented by our good friends at Quack Car Wash. Stop by. You're in and out in 5 minutes, no matter how long the line is. Again, my store is the one in South Jordan at the District, and if you know, the space is really constricted there, so usually the line is around the building and down towards the 7-Eleven, 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. The line could be back to the Ochre Temple, and it'd still be 5 minutes, right?
The Ochre Temple.
Right? So it's great because it's efficient, it's fast. I love the wash pass. I never have to, they just put your license plate in. Boom, you're done. You're in, you're out, gone.
Bada boom, bada bing.
And again, Jake, for the first time, got to see the vacuums in action.
Yeah.
The sucking power at the quick
the
quack.
suction was real.
Yeah, awesome. I love it, man. And if you're not a vacuum or if you're not a towel dry guy, because I like when I get my car washed, you know how your door jams and your trunk jam is all watery, and I like to wash that off. I like to dry it off. I'm the guy that likes my mirrors. I'm kind of anal about my mirrors. I don't like my mirrors to be all water spotted. Guy walked up, gave me 2 fresh, brand new towels that were damp. So, it was great. Car looks awesome. Klaus is rolling. Go to Quack Car Wash. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. So, a little bit of spraining of news this morning. Not a fracture, not breaking. Spraining news. Because we told you about it yesterday on the show, that the Jazz and the Lakers are continuing to have conversations about a Russell Westbrook trade. Chris Haynes from TNT, Bleacher Report, somewhere. Chris Haynes this morning, who actually I think is one of the better guys in the NBA. Chris Haynes this morning tweeting out that he is a senior NBA insider for TNT and Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
He said, with Los Angeles aiming for another trade before the deadline, conversations were had with the Lakers and Jazz centered on Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
It's what we do. But I think you're looking at a situation where the Lakers want contributing players now. And we were watching the game last night, the Laker game, and talking back and forth about how they're wasting LeBron.
Yep.
And I know we've had this conversation on the show 1,000 times, but I'll just keep saying it. Anthony Davis was spectacular last night.
Davis.
I mean, he was awesome. But how long is he going to be healthy?
Yeah, I'm glad that, he could, change out of his Prada jumpsuit and, get into the leggings and the Laker cloth, to actually get on the floor. That was nice.
Yeah, I think it is. And listen, I will say I think it's long. The odds are long that the Lakers make this deal. I think more so. I think the Jazz know if they sent Mike Conley to Dallas, Miami, I really think Fred VanVleet has changed the Jazz draft opportunities. I think that they had a Mike Conley deal for a first-round pick. I think if they had that today, they'd make it.
Yeah.
But I think Fred VanVleet being on the market and available to teams like the Clippers, the Lakers, Atlanta, Dallas, I think that has changed Mike Conley's value. And I still maintain that OG Anunoby, I think he winds up with the Knicks. But you look at New Orleans, I think there are good places for OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
Do you think he gets traded?
Yeah, I do. I think there's too much competition. I think that there's too much desire. Like we've been hearing about OG trades for 2 seasons now, but I think now this whole concept of the Knicks and the Pelicans competing to get this guy, and you want to talk about spite, I think Leon Rose is pissed that he didn't get Donovan Mitchell. And now he feels like he needs to get a deal or a win to solidify this Knicks team.
Yeah.
And I think that, he knows that the Knicks, his Knicks are very much parallel to where the Pelicans are. They're 2 teams that are good but not good enough, and getting good enough is adding guys like OG Anunoby. And look, OG Anunoby's never going to be an MVP, probably an all-star caliber player at his best. And I think that the minimum out of OG is much better defense than you have now, because that's the problem. RJ Barrett is a nice little offensive player, doesn't play great defense, and you have a roster full of guys that are kind of like that. So to me, I just think if I'm Leon, I need to get aggressive. You're the Knicks, operate like it. And if you get beat out by New Orleans, that's on Leon. That's just what it is.
Yeah, and I wonder when Danny trades Malik Beasley, because, again, and I'm waiting for a confirmation on it, but I am pretty certain that Malik Beasley is going to get them a first-round pick. It's something that we've been trying to get our hands around.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get a first-round pick from Malik Beasley. I do. I think that if you can get a first-round pick from Malik Beasley, I think you are in exceptional position.
Yeah.
And I think they will. I do think they will get that. It feels right to me. I mean, you have Lauri Markkanen now. He's an all-star, which I think the way they handled that, by the way, I thought was spectacular, wrapping the player parking lot gate where you pull in, with his face and the all-star thing, and then all the players hugging him. And I think Lauri Markkanen has been a revelation to the Jazz, and I think the Jazz have been a revelation to Lauri Markkanen. I think the way he has played, you can now see him here for the next 2 full years.
Yeah.
You can see extending Lauri Markkanen if he continues to play at this level. I think you've got to take advantage of this. The explosion of Walker Kessler. I mean, he is one of the best centers in the league now. I think he's probably top 10. I think, he's obviously not going to be Jokic. He's not going to be, Joel Embiid. But you can put him in competition on any roster. And I think having him on this Jazz roster, starting him the rest of the year, unquestioned, that's why you've got to trade Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah.
Starting Kelly Olynyk at the 4 is simply a value proposition for the Jazz. And I think Kelly Olynyk has huge value. I think the Miami Heat would love to get Kelly Olynyk back. I think they need that. But if you're the Miami Heat, what do you do with Duncan Robinson's deal? Nobody wants that contract.
Yeah.
That's a bad deal.
You want to talk about writing checks? Like, you can write that check.
Yeah. It's a bad deal.
If I remember correctly, they gave him the deal.
Yeah. Rance speaks the truth, and the obvious one is that the T-Wolves would be a lot better team if they didn't trade with the Jazz.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Candies and nuts. You did, and so you're not.
But you can't do this thing about what if. Oh, man, what if we trade for him and we're not good? You traded for Rudy Gobert, and there was absolute elation in Minnesota. I think people believe that would work well. Nobody projected that Karl Anthony Towns was going to be out this long.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. And now he's supposedly, on the, quick return like Devin Booker's coming back. That's the other thing I think you kind of have to forecast forward. How urgent are you if you're the Suns, knowing now, okay, Book's going to be back supposedly early next week.
Allegedly.
Karl Anthony Towns is going to be back in Minnesota, so they're going to get better. Rudy Gobert is dealing with an injury. I think everybody believes the Lakers are going to make 1, maybe 2 more deals. They're going to be better. Because really for the Lakers, you just got to get out of the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
And they're going to be able to do that, in my opinion, if Anthony Davis stays healthy. Because, again, seeing what you've seen from him, geez Louise.
Yeah, it's just unreliable.
Yeah, the guy is a stud when he's healthy. I mean, what he gave them last night,
after the street closed Davis.
He's unbelievable when he's healthy. I think you have to look at, there's a couple other teams. I don't know what Milwaukee does here. Like the Jay Crowder deal should have been done already. It should have been done. I told you the other day that deal's close.
Yeah.
It's disappointing if you're a Jazz fan because you want to be in the Jay Crowder deal. You want to be in the Jay Crowder deal. And again, I would tell you there is no better trade to me. Like, look at who's in town tonight. John Collins and the Atlanta Hawks.
Yep.
That's a guy, I'm telling you, if you could start Kessler at the 5, Collins at the 4, Laurie at the 3, I mean, that's going to be a really formidable lineup.
Yeah.
And because this team really struggles to rebound and defend. The Jazz struggle. The rebounding thing's a big deal because you're giving teams 2-3 opportunities a trip.
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
Yeah, well, and I think that Walker that's a developmental piece. He has to continue to get better at staying attached to his guy defensively. He's as gifted of a shot blocker as they come, but there's a lot of other things on defense that he needs to improve on.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the situation with Rudy Gay, I think this is another interesting guy because Rudy Gay, he's not somebody that's making a whole bunch of money, but he's a guy that you've got to move him on. His $6 million, you've got to move him on, man. Like you cannot continue. I think playing Rudy Gay is detrimental to the roster. Yeah. I do.
Well, I think playing Rudy Gay, I think playing Mike Conley, playing Mike Conley, the problem is, as much as I love watching Mike Conley operate in the pick and roll, the reality is you need Colin Sexton learning how to be Mike Conley. That's just the reality of where you're at. And,
but he's another guy that I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Do not be shocked if they trade Colin Sexton. Yeah. Do not be surprised by that. If this team trades Colin Sexton and you're caught off guard, that's a you thing.
Do you even watch the Jazz?
You're a casual, bro.
Yeah, do you even watch the Jazz?
I think Will Hardy and Colin Sexton don't love playing together.
You're a casual.
I think there's no doubt about that. Like Will Hardy wants Will Hardy wants Colin Sexton. He expects Colin Sexton to be better. And I think we've seen flashes of better from Colin. I don't know if Will Hardy's the right voice in his ear.
Yeah.
And I think they're acutely aware of that. And because Jazz sources have told me that those two don't communicate well.
Well, we've seen it. We've seen it, right? I mean, how many heated conversations have they had?
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
By the way, hit the like button, will you, please?
What are we doing likes-wise here? We have 1,500 views on the show today and only 73 likes. So if all 221 of you in the room right now could hit the like button, that would be awesome if you have not already. Roki Tepa says thank you. Well, you're welcome. I'm not sure what you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but sure.
Talking with Raphael podcast. Do you think the term write that check will disappear? A lot of people don't know what a checkbook is. Yes, seriously. Hey, go ahead and wire me that money, sir. Right? Isn't that crazy, though?
Venmo, right?
Isn't that crazy, though? And Raphael, I think you're right. I haven't written a check in, I don't know how long. Tyler P. says, I love Gobert, but was happy the Jazz traded him. That contract was so bad. Yeah, absolutely that contract was bad. No doubt about it. And I think it is still to this day one of the worst contracts in the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
I think it is. It's awful. James Knight says, word is Crowder will get to the Bucks.
Yeah, we just covered that.
We were just talking about that. I'm surprised it's not done yet.
He's just a good fit there. Like the way they play the game, the way he plays the game.
And from what I've been told, his 3-point shot looks really good right now. And he has spent. Jay Crowder has not been sitting on the couch crying at home. He's been working his ass off. So he is in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I apologize. I just need to put my phone down.
Yeah.
I get a lot of texts during the show.
Yeah.
And I apologize for that.